Welcome back to Ozarks Fox AM. It's time for another Intrigue Journal with the ever-intriguing and mysterious Sean Paul.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, a couple weeks ago, we went to the UFO Conference in Eureka Springs. We spoke there last year, and we performed this year. And, but prior to going there, I came on here and I told you about people that I have talked to and interviewed, that have interviewed and done hypnotic regressions with people that have been abducted. And it was really a fun segment because you guys both looked at me with these rather critical looks like, you know, you are so full of it, Sean Paul, right? And I'm just here to report what I've been researching and interviewing, right? I mean, these aren't always my personal opinions. It's just what the research that I've done.
Right.
Well, I went to the UFO conference. I met the people that have been abducted, and I've got a video to share.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Good. Can we look at it?
Yes, let's roll the tape.
Okay.
It's one of the largest UFO conferences in the country, and each spring it happens in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Whether you just want to believe or if you have a story to tell, you will find comfort and kindred souls here among those who don't just believe, but are anxiously seeking the answers to their own personal mysteries. The conference always delivers nationally known authors and experts in the field of UFOlogy, and they hope to shed some light on what many people believe the government will not disclose. It's the 32nd year that the Eureka Springs Conference has happened here in the Ozark Mountains, and as publishers of Intrigue Journal, we didn't just attend. We took the stage and conducted some paranormal experiments.
Different parts of the universe. And then there were these alien symbols, all right? And by exposing your subconscious mind to these symbols, it's supposedly maybe going to endow you with some alien abilities. That was the storyline, at least.
We even had an unexpected moment with an alien artifact. After our presentation, we explored the lower level where you can see all kinds of amazing, cool things for sale, and we talked to some published authors. Their books are about their personal experiences that we find most intriguing.
Hello, I'm Jean Walker. This is my book here that I have written. I named it Family Secrets because I do believe abductions tend to run in families. Usually if one person in the family's been abducted, you'll find other members have had experiences too.
Okay, and what's your background?
I was a science teacher, and I have a master's degree in education. And the reason being I was so interested in all of this was because I started to remember so many things that had happened to me. And they wipe your memory out, and there's just a lot of things I can't remember, although things I do. They took 3 of my babies from me and messed me up so bad I could never have children. They are still taking me, and I can't figure out why at my age they would do that. But
When was the last time you were abducted?
Probably a couple months ago.
And I actually saw an ET standing right next to me. He was about this tall.
You've seen them, they've been standing right next to you, but you've also been abducted?
I have.
Okay, and this next one I'm trying to say with a straight face, but have you ever been taken aboard a spaceship?
I know how that is. Yes, I had, as a child, I was about 9 years old, was taken aboard a craft and taken to another planet. They told me to go down the hill to a school, and I walked in this large stone building that looked ancient and went into a classroom, and I was shocked to see not only human children but extraterrestrial children as well in this classroom.
Okay, and have you seen any lately?
Yeah.
Aliens?
Yeah.
Really? How recently?
Today.
Finally, Juliana Fay, the eternal student of the cosmos, got some time to interview astronomer Mark D'Antonio. And when asked if he thinks it's possible that we are not alone in the universe, well, this is what the expert said.
But with 100 billion stars, we think maybe of those, anywhere from 25 million to 10 billion stars have planets that are Earth-like within our own galaxy. And we've seen up to 2 trillion other galaxies out there.
That's awesome.
Sean Paul, luckily abductions do not run in my family.
Okay, so, but Jeremy, on the other hand, he's having flashbacks as we speak.
I don't think he wants to talk about it.
Did we just unlock some
Jeremy,
regressed memories?
Just lean back and be comfortable. Do you want to talk about it?
I don't. That's...
Well, you know, obviously,
beyond words for me.
I included what I found were the most entertaining parts of those interviews, right? And so, you know, they're very nice people. They're very sweet. And so I was actually at a dinner where the speakers were having dinner, and we got to know each other. And there's this guy, and he just looked like a guy that might work on your car. He just had a baseball cap. He looked like he was in his 60s. And I told him who I was. He was like, "Oh, I've heard about your show. I want to come and see your show." And I said, "Well, who are you?" And he goes, "Well, my name's Calvin." And he goes, "Have you ever heard of the Pascagoula Abduction?" And I said, "No, is that something that you have been researching?" He says, "No, I was abducted." And so he was the first one that I met.
Wow.
This guy has been on national Fox News with Tucker Carlson. They're trying to make a movie about this story. Apparently, he, when he was 19 years old, in 1973, he was fishing on a river in Mississippi, and this spaceship came down, a hatch opened, 3 or 4 beings came out, and they brought him aboard, and they abducted him. And he was not happy about it. Well, he came back, and after some time, he shared his story, and he came out with it. And people looked at him like he was crazy.
Right.
The way you guys look at me sometimes, right?
Yes, most of the time.
Yes. Yeah. And he said, I don't care. He actually started swearing. "I don't care if you believe me or not," and very emphatic about it. Then 5 and 10 years later, people that lived in the community, they came out and admitted that they had seen the spacecraft that night as well. Which goes back to what we've talked weeks and weeks ago, is that, you know, just because one person says it doesn't mean they're crazy. It means that maybe other people are saying it, but they don't say anything.
They don't want to be accused of being called crazy.
Exactly.
Right, and that is true. Jeremy and I've this talk, like, if somebody accused us of a crime that we didn't commit, we would be emphatic and never say that we did it. If something happened like that, if it was real, and I thought it was real, I probably would talk about it. And people would think I was crazy.
But yeah, remember the clip that we showed of the lady that, you know, tragically she decided 10 years later she was going to run for Congress. But she had already gone on record saying that she was taken aboard a spaceship and they had long blonde hair. Remember that?
I remember.
Maybe it's wise not to talk about it.
Sean Paul, you're always intriguing as usual.
Thank you very much.
That is really great.
You. All right, don't go anywhere. Ozarks Fox AM will be right back. So should I look at him and be like, "Take me now"?
Right.
I'm ready.